This is Roppongi Rocks and we are at Skogsröjet Festival in Sweden with Joacim Cans from HammerFall's.
Indeed we are. Hello there.
Great to meet you. We're about to release a new album. We just published a review recently and it's coming out in about a week's time, so tell us about it.
Well, maybe you should tell me about the review first before I say anything.
It's a brilliant review.
Oh, thank you very much. No, this is the album number 13. We've been around for quite some time, and I think HammerFall we stand for something. I mean, this is pure, solid, heavy metal the way it's supposed to be played. As simple as that. This is, at the same time, album 13 takes a lot of hard work to really, dig deep into yourself to find the unique stuff that you haven't written before. I always say that Oscar and I could probably write an album in 5 days with 10 okay songs, but okay is not good enough. Not even good is good enough. It has to be great. So this is a lot of hard work behind this, and it's really hard to describe an album in a short period of time. Musically, every song on this album belong to the concept of the album. We still record and release albums. Take one song out, see that as a brick, the whole album will start to shake a little bit. Something will be missing. There's also a concept, I would say, in the way I am thinking or my thought pattern when it came to the lyrics. This album is about freedom and about hope. The freedom, the right to be the person that you want to be and live the life that you want to live.
But what I liked about the album, it's not too fast and not too many dragons and stuff. If you look at power metal and related sort of categories and subcategories, I don't like those kind of when it gets too cheesy, but you managed to do it in the middle somewhere where it's good metal, it's melodic, it's sort of power metal at times, but you don't go into that cheesy area. I mean, do you think about these things? Because there are many other bands that can't do what you do.
No, because first of all, we play heavy metal and not power metal. I think it's a very big difference. If you listen to what we do, it is different. If you also read the lyrics, unfortunately nowadays people don't really have the lyrics at hand when they listen because it's either on Spotify or whatever. The lyrics are not really there, so that is a problem. We had the opening track on the first album was "The Dragon Lies Bleeding," but if you get into that song, the word dragon is a metaphor for the enemy. So it's not even a real dragon in there. Yeah. No, I always try to stay away from it. I try to describe things, but maybe using words that are familiar to the overall heavy metal listener, but there's always layers in there. You can interpret it in many different ways. So of course, there are swords in there, and sometimes actually a sword is a sword. We just have to live with that. And hammer will always be a hammer.
Fair enough. And have you ever thought, it's 13 albums as you mentioned, do you think that sometimes, let's just screw it, let's just play the catalogue, let's not do more new music? Or what drives you to do new music? Is it something you feel as an artist, we have to put out new music?
I think it's the actual drive we're talking about here that makes us write new music. And now we're sitting here talking about album 13. We're not talking about the tour that is going to follow after the album, because we're still releasing albums that makes a difference. And imagine, eventually we're going to sit here and talk about the album that we're not even going to talk about because, that's the album we had to release to be able to go on tour. And I don't want that to happen. I really hope that someone will pull the plug and tell us, you know what guys, that album you're about to release, don't.
Fair enough. And how do you create music as a band? Obviously, the band is a lot of melodic and guitar driven, and then you're the vocalist. Is there a lot of fighting on how to actually, what to get on a record, or do you work collaboratively, or how does it work?
It's been the team. The team is actually Oscar Droniak and myself. It's been the same team since day one, and he's the riff master. Everything starts with Oscar, and but nowadays he's also creative on tour. He brings his portable guitar. He brings his travel guitar, his little portable studio setup. So no matter where he goes, he always brings that, because when creativity knocks on your door, you need to be ready. And that's something he learned throughout the years. So for this album, for instance, this was written on a tour bus, at a hotel room, on vacation, in a backstage room. But sometimes after a show, he just runs into the shower and disappears, because then something happened.
Right.
And I love that. So I can't really start working on anything until he's done with his part. Then he sends over some demos, and then I start adding my vocal melodies.
Right.
And we also bounce ideas on and forth. So it's like, I think for this album, we talked a lot about like, okay, so what's best for this song? Should we go this way or that way? No, maybe we should change the key, because it's going to be very high-pitched, and you don't want to have this type of song high-pitched. And when I was done with some vocal melodies, I had 3 different versions. I think they sucked, and I sent the first one. I was saying, you know what, I'm not sure about this. And Oscar responded like, this is the best you ever did. You should get the Nobel Prize for this one. Like, oh, good. So it's always good to have someone like objective.
Yeah.
Just because I'm always sitting working alone, and we never sit in the same room.
Right.
And then when we present it to the rest of the guys, everything is more or less there. So the whole production part is done at the demo stage.
Nice.
So when we enter the studio, we don't waste 4 weeks and 400,000.
Yeah.
You know.
Fair enough. And the album will be out in a week. And do you have a big touring plans after that, or what's coming up?
I think it's a constant tour. We never quit touring. We're touring all the time. We have a big tour in Central Europe together with Powerwolf. So we step in as a special guest, and that's going to be amazing. The ticket sales are crazy. HammerFall as a headliner, we step back into the ring in January next year. Then we do Australia, and then we have a lot of cool stuff lined up, but nothing that is official right now.
Right. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. We have already heard the album. The fans will hear the album in a week's time, and we look forward to the tour.
Thank you very much. Awesome.